What's up, everyone? It's another episode of the Ali Favor and Drew, the After Five Podcast. Today we have a special guest by the name of Levell Jones. Levell, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a lot about
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to say thanks for having me, y'all. One of the hottest podcasts out there. So took me a while to get here, but I'm here now. So yeah, my name is Levell Jones. I've been in the music industry basically, man, since the age of 20. So about 30 years. I've worked with some of the top R&B artists out there, Gerald Levert, R. Kelly, Keith Sweat. I've toured with Keith Sweat, R. Kelly. I've written on Silk's some platinum albums. You name it, I did it. I had my own group called Twice. We were on MCA, Two Sets of Twins. Our single was a remake of Cameo's Old Sparkle. So it's on YouTube. Y'all can check it out. But it was produced by D'Angelo and Angie Stone back in the 90s. So I'm an old school 90s R&B head. So yeah, that's my background.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. It sounds like you worked with a lot of different people, man. I know you had mentioned that you had worked with R. Kelly, man. Kind of wanted to see, when did you first become his backup singer? How long did you stay his backup singer?
Okay, I worked with R. Kelly at the height of his career, probably on his second project when we toured. It was the 12-play shoot tour. And we toured with Salt and Pepper, Escape, and it was R. Kelly. He was the headliner. That was back in '94 when we joined. So I got the gig back there. One of my friends, Calandra Glenn, was singing background for him. And he had fired his background singers. And at the time I was living in Cleveland, me and my twin brother, Levell. And she called and told us, hey, y'all want to audition for R. Kelly? So we hopped on the Greyhound bus, rode out there, got the gig. He didn't even let us come home. So we had to have our girls ship our clothes out there, and we rehearsed and for about probably like 3 to 4 months before we went on tour in a big airplane hangar, getting the whole tour together and all that stuff. So, I learned a tremendous amount about the business, working and standing behind him. He's a musical genius, a perfectionist when it comes to innovative shows and music, but as a person, I mean, y'all know the story. He was a piece of shit.
No, we're gonna dig in on the dirt with that. We just ain't gonna let that breathe over.
Yeah.
Especially now with the things that's going on in R. Kelly world, we're gonna dig into those things. So, have you kept in touch with them lately? Are you still close with them?
Man, his younger brother, Kerry, we call him Killer. We talk maybe 2-3 times a week. That's like my brother. I'm closer to Killer than I am my own twin, and he's closer to me than he is Rob. So yeah, I'm very close to the family.
Man. Hey, how many tours did you attend with R. Kelly as his backup singer before you had came off the tour?
We completed the first tour and we started the second tour. We completed the 12-play tour. Which was probably his biggest tour, right after the 12-play album when he blew up, and we toured all over the world. And then we started the second tour. By that time, MCA, we were signed to MCA, and they pulled us off the tour to finish up our project, and we had to start our tour. We did a USO tour over in Japan, so they was pulling us off. And of course, he wanted us to stay on tour and said that he would do some songs for us if we stayed on tour. But we had our own stuff going on at the time, so we had to dip. Plus, this was when it started getting crazy and all the accusations, and he got Leah. He married Leah, and she ended up pregnant. And it was just a whole bunch of shit going on. So it was a good time for us to dip out.
Right.
Oh man, that sounds wild, Levell. Listen, hey, what was the name of the group that you were with once they pulled you off tour, man?
Okay, it's called Twice. It's 2 sets of twins. My twin brother, Levell, and another set of twins we grew up in the church with, Mike and Ike. We're all from Cleveland, grew up singing in the church. We got a deal signed with MCA back in the 90s. We worked with just about everybody that's in R&B. And me and my brother, we did some writing for other people as well.
That's great. But how did you feel when you heard all the bad news about R. Kelly being arrested and charged with raping multiple women, young women?
At the time, man, I felt sad because, when I started working for him, there was, rumors and, hey, R. Kelly like him young. And, what I'm saying? We didn't have the 20 years of accusations we have now. But there were some rumblings and, there were some things you notice on tour. He was basically a control freak. I mean, you know, the most interaction I had with him, I mean, we were close as far as like we would hoop. That he's a hoop fanatic, so we would hoop all the time. All that stuff was great, but there was a lot of stuff going on, what I'm saying, when he was doing his personal time with the dancers and the females that was on the tour with us, and they would come back and share stories with us. And I mean, crazy stuff. What I'm saying? There would be some times after some shows, he would ask us to go get some girls or whatever. And, he had a taste for like young girls. He'd be like, hey, y'all see them girls over there? Why don't y'all bring them girls up to the party, after party, or whatever? But man, they was just way too young. We were like, nah, nigga, them girls is too young. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but, you started to notice someone really right. His personality, by being successful as he is, a lot of successful people have quirks, and they're kind of like what you say, mad geniuses, and that's what I would consider him. He's when it comes to the music, dude, he's a genius. You know what I'm saying? But what he's so great at in music, he lacks in his personal life and his personality and how he treats people. And I mean, he treated his own brother like a piece of shit. Everybody on tour was getting paid good money. He was paying his brother. His brother was like the hype man, but also rapping and sharing the stage with him. He's paying his brother like $250 a week, trying to make him carry his bags. And you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. Yeah.
Treat your best man like your worst man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is it true he had private bedrooms in the studio and had multiple women coming in and out?
Yeah. It was, when I first started, it wasn't as evident. You know what I'm saying? It was all about the work. We were in a hangar 16 hours a day working on the show. But the more he grew and more his popularity grew, the more his taste and his outrageousness became more, known to everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's like he just turned into a monster. The more money he made, the more records he sold, the more personality, which is R. Kelly, came out. R. Kelly is a beast. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly treats people like a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Rob is who he is, who his family and friends know him as. And it's like a Jekyll and Hyde effect. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's torn because dude is a spiritual person, his spiritual background, his family, where he came from, his roots, his mom is in the church. And you can feel that in some of his music. So he's like torn, you know what I'm saying? Some of the demons of the industry, just exaggerated, R. Kelly, that's his persona. And it just like added fuel to the fire, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. When he got in trouble the first time, he should have set his ass down, but it didn't surprise me, these latest charges, because that's exactly what he was doing 25 years ago. He never stopped.
Man, that's crazy, Levell. I mean, that's wild. And I know the series was released, and I know like it seems like the police and everybody's trying to round up everybody or question everybody, trying to figure out what's going on. Man, was you ever approached? Was they on you trying to see what his background was like? Because I know it seems like they're trying to round up everybody at this point.
Well, you know what? They had enough. They have more than enough. They didn't need me. But I did do the first documentary that BBC started. And that was before Saving R. Kelly. BBC really, they came over from England. They did a special. They're the ones that started this whole investigation stuff. So they, they called some former employers and background singers and musicians. A lot of them didn't want to participate, but I participated because, I got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? And I've been talking about this for the last 25 years since I got off tour. I went on the Wendy Williams show, and this was before anybody knew what was going on, because I saw it as a problem. you know what I'm saying? And I called it out, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, this ain't no new story. You can search Carrie Kelly on Wendy Williams. I was right there with him, you know, telling the same story, ringing the bell like, hey, something going on, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's not, like I said, it's not a new story. It's the same shit he was doing 25 years ago. He's just honed and sharpened his predatory skills, basically. And, you know, a lot of people say that these girls, or they was 18 or they should know better and blah, blah, blah. Listen, they are no match for somebody who's been honing their skills for 30 years and who is a millionaire, who is a superstar and a predator. He knows who to prey on. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just saying that these girls should have known better, man, they no match. They're no match for somebody who does this day in, day out, you know what I'm saying, for 30 years.
Man,
How
that
can
is
they
wild.
defend themselves against them?
Eggs. Damn. Have you ever been around when R. Kelly been very abusive, physical, mentally, or verbally towards some of the women he encountered with?
Oh, absolutely. We toured and we started off everybody on one bus, but you know, as he grew and got more money, and we had 3 tour buses. So the band would be on one bus. Him and all the females who worked, whether they were dancers or employers, they would be on the bus with him. And he was so much of a control freak. They couldn't go anywhere without being escorted. They couldn't talk to us. They couldn't talk to any men on tour. They had to ask to use the bathroom. So when I heard these latest accusations about him not letting these women use the bathroom, it's exactly what he was doing back then. So, you know, when we working, they would tell us stories what was going on these buses. You know what I'm saying? What he was making them do. I mean, he was making them all have sex with each other. And, you know, these were young women, but most of these people were from like the streets of Chicago. What was they gonna do? Go back to McDonald's? You on tour with the biggest star in the world, seeing the country, making thousands of dollars a week, and you're pretty much at his mercy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I had other shit that I could do. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't with no bullshit. But you know, some of these girls and some of the people he had working for him, they had nothing to go back to. So he used that as a control measure to control them, control every aspect of their lives.
Right. So McDonald was really one of his biggest spots he always went to whenever he wanted to go get home.
Yeah, McDonald's, and we stayed at the mall. He put the tour bus up at the mall, every city we went to.
And I also looked at an interview that's saying like when the woman was saying like they can't wear tight clothes. It got to be like in sweatsuits. Like he don't want no shape, no nothing showing. Like can't show nothing off. Like
yeah. I
so
mean,
that's how he did them when they come to his house.
Yeah,
you got to come in sweat like in a sweatsuit.
He did that on tour. You know, and which is ironic because when they was on stage, they was damn near butt naked. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't want them to communicate with nobody. I mean, a few of them almost got fired. You know, me and my brother, when we came on tour, we was one of the last ones to come on tour, the last to get hired. And, you know, they would tell us all the time that he would tell them that I don't want y'all talking to them twins and all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he would feel threatened. He's the superstar, you know what I'm saying? But he was threatened by basically any male presence around any of his women, girlfriends, or employees. He would get really jealous and controlling. And he didn't want them in the room. They couldn't look at us. They couldn't speak to us. I mean, it was crazy. It was weird back then, even without all these accusations that we have over the last 20 years. It was weird. You know what I'm saying? That was the beginning of it.
Now, what was going through your mind the night that he tried to get you to help him scout out some young girls?
You know, I had my manager who dropped us off when we got the job, you know, put a bug in our ear. She said, look, I heard R. Kelly like him young. You know, at the time, I mean, you know, hey, who don't? You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know it was that young. You know what I'm saying? She was like, there's rumors. And he was just fresh in the business, but there's a lot of people that knew. He was already working with Aaliyah. He was already, you know, having sex with Aaliyah. You know, she was 15 at the time when I met her, 14 or 15. You know, everybody knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Her mama knew. Barry Hankinson, who was his manager at the time, and Aaliyah's uncle, he knew. But, you know, everybody swept everything under the rug because he was going to make all of them a lot of money. He was going to make her a star. You know what I'm saying? So It was just a lot of weird shit, and you would hear stuff. Now, I never physically saw him with or have in a sexual act with a minor, but if you in somebody's camp, y'all like family. Y'all touring the world together. You know what I'm saying? So there's people who are closer who see things or is on the other bus or whatever. And, we all share what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So everybody knew what was going on or had an inkling of what was going on. It just started, getting weird and spiraling out of control.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Listen, so like you brought up Aaliyah, right? There's been so many different rumors flying around on whether he married Aaliyah or if he didn't marry Aaliyah or, if that's actually legit. Do you know any insight to that? I've also heard that, something about her family signed off on it. Do you have any insight to that?
Yeah, Barry was Aaliyah's manager. He was R. Kelly's manager. He owned Black Crown Records, which was the label for R. Kelly. So he knew everything what was going on between them. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, what really happened is she got pregnant by him. It hadn't been talked about for 20 years. People kind of respect her. She's not here, respecting the dead. But it's something that they just started talking about, recently that we all knew that, she got pregnant by him. So before that came out, they kind of influenced them to go, Barry Hankinson, which was her uncle and manager, to go get married. So if the story broke, it won't look like you were just taking advantage of this 15-year-old, 16, however she was at the time. I believe she was 15. So they went and to the justice of the peace, they had a fake ID, had somebody make a fake ID, his road manager, might make a fake ID, and they got the marriage license and they got married. When everybody found out that she was pregnant, that's when the shit hit the fan. You know what I'm saying? And that's when, the legalities came in, the parents got involved, and, money, talking about suing and all this other stuff. It was a money grab. A lot of people took advantage of R. Kelly because he couldn't read or write. You know what I'm saying? He's a musical genius. But when it came to his business, he left that in other people's hands. And everybody, they never really tried to get him help or correct the situation. All they wanted was a check. Everybody around them wanted a check.
You ain't announced something very key. You said her uncle and manager.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
This is Aaliyah's uncle. That's basically pimping her out. Wow.
Right.
Never knew that.
And Levell, do you feel like the people that was involved in that need to go down with R. Kelly? Because that's crazy, him going to do all that by himself. Now everybody want to turn foes on when they know they're involved.
You know what? There are quite a few people who have been indicted, but it's the ones who kept it going and kept covering up for him. A lot of these people from the start are no longer with him. A lot of them, because of what happened, it became a problem. First it might seem like it was one incident, but now that over 20 years, you got people who actually helped him cover up this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And help persuade the girls. He had other women come in who were like the den mother, would train these girls or keep them in line. And so they knew what was going on. And those are the people who are facing allegations now, the ones who intimidate witnesses and all that stuff. A lot of people from the beginning, when everything came out, they were shocked too, because keep in mind, we didn't have 20 years of accusations. He had just started, and it was weird to us, you know what I'm saying? And but after this Aaliyah thing blew up, that's when I was out. You know what I'm saying? I was out. I kept in contact with his family, which goes into something even more deeper about the sex tape and all that stuff, that his actual brother had found the sex tape. After a fight that they had backstage, went on a tour bus. Rob had kicked him off tour. So he goes taking VHS tapes, stealing tapes and all this, get back home, thinking he's gonna watch some movies.
And they tapes.
And his tapes is there.
Wow. So it came up, brother.
Calls his brother and tells his brother, look, man, this shit will put you away for life. So I'm not putting this tape in nobody's hand but yours. And Rob sent Barry Hankinson to Cleveland, because he was staying with me at the time, to Cleveland to get the tape from Killer. So he got the tape from Killer, and Barry went back and told Rob Killer wanted $50,000 for the tape, which was not true. And that's what started the rift between him and his brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it gets deep, man. I mean, we'd be doing 4 or 5 podcasts if I get into everything.
Hey, I'm willing. We willing to do
Yeah,
it.
we're about to call it the R. Kelly series.
Yes, like
Yeah,
we be
it's
more
deep.
serious than one.
It's
He
deep.
actually blamed his brother on that tape at one point.
Absolutely. What he was trying to do is create reasonable doubt. At the time, they looked kind of similar. And the tape was kind of, back in the day, it was grainy. We didn't have HD or nothing. So he tried to put the doubt in the jury's mind and other people's mind that could have been his brother. So he's blaming his brother, which his brother caught all kind of flack. His kids got, beat up at school and all this. I mean, it kind of ruined his brother as well. Also, I have recordings of his brothers calling him, basically trying to bribe him to take the rap for this, that they were going to give him a record deal. They was going to take care of him if he just said it was him on the tape. I
He
got
just
that
treated him like
recorded
he's
to this very
unstrained.
day.
Yes, crazy.
Wow.
Hey man, Levell, let me piggyback off that, man. What happened with the family on that, man? I mean, I can't imagine that. You could blame your brother for something like that, possibly get him thrown in jail for something that you did.
Well,
And then, how is the family split on that, or how did that work?
Yeah. It goes by, man. It's so dysfunctional. Rob is so dysfunctional. He doesn't have an attachment to people, family, all this, you know what I'm saying? He's a very good actor, you know what I'm saying? But when somebody is a narcissist, really, and that's exactly what he is, all they care about is themselves, what they're doing. His brother was a phenomenal rapper, had a lot of people on tour grabbing at him, wanted to put him on. At the time, he told his brother, kept telling him, I'm gonna put you on. You know what I'm saying? And then, after, he would brush off with the Isley brother. It was a lot of people that wanted him. And he would tell him, it's only enough room in this family for one star. I'll buy you a muffler shop. You can do muffler shops. And kind of like, basically like blackballed him, put his foot on his throat. And that's where I coming in. Well, we got close because I was helping him with his music. I was managing him at the time, recorded a lot of stuff. But everywhere we would go, I mean, he was telling the story 20 years ago that's going on now in his records. And we would sit down with the record execs and, man, they'd be blown away. And the first thing they would say is, man, you can't say this shit on record. Can't say this shit on record. And you know why? He was making all of them labels way too much money at the time.
Thanks. Dang.
His brother
So
was
everybody knew.
Oh,
So everybody damn
it.
knew the camp.
They protected it because they protected their own interests. They protected making millions. And now that he doesn't have the clout that he used to, you know what I'm saying, in the industry, he's fair game. Anybody can come get him now. He ain't making us millions. He ain't making the millions. He's not as powerful. But when he was making them millions and millions, when he was doing records for Janet Jackson, Anita Baker, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, you couldn't touch him. Couldn't say nothing bad about him.
Wow. That's how they do you in this industry, man. Like, that's crazy.
And I know the subject has been talked about so many times. I did so many blogs and stuff. But it's relevant because he's supposed to be sentenced this week. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this stuff is going to be coming back up. And I wanted to address something because I went back and looked online a couple of blogs after I did interviews. And, people like, well, hell, you was with him. He asked you to go get girl. Just because somebody asks you to do something don't mean you participate. I wanted to make that clear. Or you knew what was going on and this and that. No, I never seen him. But like I said, when you're a family and you're on the road, you're a family, you all you got. You know what I'm saying? So everybody know everybody's business. Somebody's woman cheating on them back home, you can't hide. You're on the same bus with us. You having a conversation on the phone. Everybody here, everybody see you crying. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was in everybody's mix. Everybody was part of everybody's life. So, you can't keep shit like that secret.
Most definitely. Ooh, that's crazy, man. That's
It almost got me speechless. Oh,
yeah, it is speechless.
Yeah.
That's a hot mess. So this situation goes. It really ain't just done yet. I think it's gonna take like another year or two for them to get to the bottom of everything. No matter
Yeah,
if they
now,
one person,
the
it's gonna
thing
continue
is,
to go.
man, he made a mockery of the judicial system. He made a mockery of everybody else when he got off that first time. They stalled that trial out for 8 years. You ain't never seen nobody stall a trial out for 8 years. Paid the girl and her family, put him up in his mansion. When he got cleared of the charges, he foreclosed on the house. He was telling the family he was going to marry her, this and that, and this and that. When he got off, instead of moving him out and all that stuff, he let the house get foreclosed on, and that was pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? He paid them off. You know what I'm saying? And you can go back. This is documented. You can go back and
I remember that
see
match
all
when
that
he got
shit.
foreclosed. I was
Yeah.
like, R. Kelly broke or what? What's
No,
going on?
he had that girl's family living up in the mansion during the whole trial, hiding out.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you think she's quiet now? Because she has not been vocal at all as far as in the public.
They got paid.
You think he got some NDA or something like that they signed?
You know what? He has plenty NDAs out there, but recently it hadn't stopped Miss Page from coming out. You know what I'm saying? But he signed something with them a long time ago and paid them a long time ago. And I'm sure some of the stuff's going to come out. There's like, he got 2 more trials. This ain't the only one. He got 2 more trials.
Wow.
He used to have 2 homeboys that was in his songs with him, Gotti and one of them name was Gotti, and I can't think of the other one. They used to be everyone with him, and almost every video with him. They kind of rapped in the background. I can't remember their names.
Blocky was his cousin, and Rocky.
Blocky.
Yeah.
There was one, yeah, he square bandana. They were light skinned. One,
yeah, that's Blocky. That's his cousin. Blocky jumped ship a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Blocky was a good dude, but like I said, a lot of those guys, they were his family and they were younger and they were making getting a check. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what else was they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? But Blocky was long gone before. I mean, he was there through the Aaliyah stuff, but he was long gone before all this the other stuff and the videotape and all that stuff. Yeah, but that was his family. That was his cousin, Black.
Right. Wow, that's crazy. But have you ever been harassed by any lawyers or law enforcement?
No, I haven't, but I know, his manager at the time, Demetrius Smith, I'm still good friends with him. A lot of them have, you know what I'm saying? They have a lot more information than I had because, he dealt with them on business, he dealt with them on NDAs, the marriage license, all that stuff. So they were privy to a lot more legal information than I would be. You know what I'm saying? So they got more, and they got warehouses and warehouses of evidence. I mean, this shit been going on for 30 years.
There's a big loaded question and difference of opinion on people on whether we should continue to listen to R. Kelly's music. You have an opinion on that?
Me personally, it kind of bothers me when it come on. I can't deny his musical genius. My wife still loves his stuff and all that stuff. I'm kind of done with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, even though he's great and you can't deny what he's meant to music, R&B music, pop culture. I'm just, personally, I'm just done because I've seen another side that a lot of folks find hard to believe. And if they'd seen or heard half of the stuff that I saw or know half of the stuff I don't know, they'd be done too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just over him. You can't diminish what he's done, you know what I'm saying, the work he's put in. And he's a musical genius, but as a human being,
he had a whole generation probably was born to his music. So,
absolutely.
People say, well, we should just dismiss. I know you just can't dismiss the music. The monster is getting punished.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They say he signed his rights away. So I don't even think he's getting a check off his music at this point. You on pause, we can't hear you.
A lot of the beginning music, no, he's not. He didn't own publishing and all that stuff. But later on, some of his later music, yeah. He's still getting some royalty checks, which they trying to find a way to get all that stuff too. and pay royalties to the victims.
Oh wow, man. Hey, listen, just to kind of get off back off a different subject. So, Geronda Pace has been on plenty of interviews, talking. One thing that she brought up that really shocked me is that, she was saying that he got down with the fellas too, man. Did he have any like young boys around him? Because I was like completely shocked.
Right. Yeah, I was too. At the time, no, I mean, I had no idea or anything like that. But, when you deal in such perversion, it's like, to get aroused, it's like sooner or later, you know what I'm saying? It's like nothing is going to excite you. You keep moving on to other things. So it doesn't surprise me. But no, we didn't see any of that when I was on tour.
Damn. That's crazy. So go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think we're all in shock here. We're speechless.
It's hard to even talk about it. It's crazy.
It is, man, because, it was a part of our culture, part of growing up. Every time we hear a song, we think it takes us back to where we was, who we was in love with, what we was doing. It's a big part of us, man. So it's a loss, man. And I feel so sad, man, because you look at how great he was and how great he could have been, and everybody makes mistakes, but to continue doing the same mistake and ruin their lives for 30 years, you never took your butt somewhere and sat down and said, okay, let me get some help, you know what I'm saying, or right. Nothing. You just gonna continue, and that's what you get.
Did anyone in his camp try to force help upon him, or record exec?
Man.
Said, look,
it was a revolving door. It was a revolving door. Once people got close and seen how bad it was, most people who are good just didn't want nothing to do with it. So there was always a revolving door of yes men, you know what I'm saying? And people he would hang around, and it was almost like how he controlled the women. He would do his employees, his drivers. He would get people that didn't have shit going on. You know what I'm saying? This was their livelihood. So they accept him, treating them like shit, He used to do the same thing to his drivers. I knew a couple of drivers. He'd drive a tour bus or drive him around when he was here in Atlanta, and he would make them sit outside the house. They couldn't use the bathroom. Grown men. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
They wanted that check. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he would, that's what he would feed off of. He'd get people who needed him.
He belittled the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Like he just used them.
Yeah.
It was even rumors that the people he speak about, Donnie Lau, the DJ in the song "Step in the Name of Love," he actually tried to sleep with their daughter.
Oh, I mean, I mean, how can I dispute it? Knowing his track record, Rob, when I was there, every female Rob was working with, he was sleeping with them. And gospel, I'm talking about gospel artists. If I named them,
Go ahead, man.
No, we ain't gonna put them out. We ain't gonna put them out.
No, I mean, all you gotta do is go back and see what gospel records he produced or who he worked with. Everybody. I mean, he was sleeping with her, including Aaliyah's mom. He slept with her. She knew. Yeah.
Whoa.
They act all holy now like they never knew.
Well, I wish I had a clue bomb.
Rob was a beast.
Rob was a bomb.
Rob was a young man. He was the biggest star in the world. He was good looking, had music. And this before, like I said, 20 years of allegations, him being a pedophile or whatever. But he was the #1 star in the world. Wasn't nobody bigger than him. Maybe Michael Jackson.
He was sleeping with Aaliyah's mom at the same time he was sleeping with Aaliyah?
Absolutely.
She's married. Oh, man.
Damn.
That's wild. That's wild.
Come on, we gotta get this wine. I gotta get my.
He took advantage of his star power. I mean, you have to realize who he was. He had the biggest hits. He's on TV, radio, all over the world. Come on, what woman, healthy woman, natural woman, girl, young or old, wouldn't desire or have fantasies and all that shit? And it was his opportunity to use his star power shit. You know what I'm saying? Rob, he slept with everybody he worked with as far as women.
I feel like still today, if he get released right now, they running right up on it.
He hit him. Yeah, they would still let him hit.
And I also feel like that the mother's involved when he doing what he doing when your daughter's out there, they should be involved with this situation too.
It's touch and go. It's so many of them, man. But like I said, wrong is wrong. You know what I'm
Wrong is
saying? Some of them did turn they turn
cheek.
they turn their cheek because of, you know, he was gonna make her a star. She's my baby, sing and this and that. And yeah, we heard rumors and this and that. Where if you heard rumors, you know, any normal person wouldn't let their child nowhere near. I don't give a fuck if you was, you know, gonna give her a $50 million contract. You know what I'm saying? But it made it okay because he was gonna make her a star, this and that, and they ignored all the signs, all the rumors, and they ended up getting pulled in. And once he had their mind, it was done. They couldn't even get their own daughters back. You know, even when they was grown, they couldn't get them back. He had their mind.
Now, Michelle tells the story where she says she actually seen mothers just come basically feed their daughters to R. Kelly.
I mean, I could see where some people would, you know what I'm saying? But most of the girls that are in these documentaries and making charges, that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? These girls had dreams, aspirations. You know, most of them had talent, was singing and all that stuff, and he used that to reel them in.
Full advantage. Damn, man. This is, yeah, we most definitely got to come back to this. Like, yeah. It's so much to this that the world don't know. It's crazy for him to really be out there doing it like that. And then I'm like you, when you do it the first time, you come out and continue to do it. Like, yeah, you really need help. Like, you really need help.
And the thing that, you know, I'm close with his younger brother. The thing that really kills me is to see how he treated his family. I mean, he would spend millions tricking, and his brother was sleeping in his car. You know what I'm saying? Right. Sleeping in abandoned buildings in Chicago. I told him, nigga, come, you know, I got a rental property. You can stay in my rental property. You know what I'm saying? This nigga at the time, R. Kelly was worth $300 million. Wouldn't give his brother nothing. And his brother didn't ask for nothing. His brother wanted to earn everything he got. You know, but he found so much joy in keeping his foot on his neck and trying to control everybody.
This is his baby brother?
Yeah, Kerry, we call him Killer.
So how many brothers did R. Kelly actually have?
2. Bruce is the older brother. Bruce always had a drug problem. So, you know, he had a propensity of doing what R. Kelly wanted because he depended on his money, you know what I'm saying? So he never really did try to aspire to do anything but work for Rob. You know what I'm saying? Do what Rob tell him. He's in prison right now. I'm still in contact with Kerry. Actually, Kerry's working on a documentary about the boys, about their life, and telling everything that happened. And basically what stemmed all of this perversion and all that stuff was, you know, their older sister, Teresa, molesting them as children. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going, everybody has a backstory and it's easy to judge. That doesn't forgive or wipe away anything that R. Kelly has done, but it allows you into a window to understand where it came from. You know what I'm saying? But he had plenty of time to get help. You know what I'm saying? And instead of, you know, getting his shit together, he went ahead and destroyed hundreds of girls' lives, just like his sister tried to destroy his life.
How many sisters does he have?
1.
So just that one, and she molested them all?
Yeah.
But it just affected Robert Kelly the worst.
Yeah, it affected them all. It affected them all in different ways. It was dysfunctional. It was something that they really never talked about. It festered for years. And, you know, it led to most of the problems that Rob is having. And I know Killer had problems, anxiety problems. And, you know, there's, you know, other than the sexual stuff going on with Rob, there's some other stuff going on with anxiety, paranoia, you know what I'm saying? I mean, imagining stuff. I mean, there's some weird stuff going on. There's some mental illnesses going on.
You know, I kind of remember that because now that you bring up the paranoia, he got kicked off the Jay-Z tour due to his paranoia.
Yeah.
Because he said he was performing and said that someone pulled a gun on him in the audience.
Yeah, he would
ruin that.
Dude, he would be in the studio, no matter where we would be. I mean, he would just have like a paranoid attack of somebody coming for me or this and that coming for me. It was weird. I mean, that would happen regularly.
Mess with somebody's child. That should.
This was before all that, but you know, he would just I don't know, man. There's some of them demons.
Listen, Levell, I want to ask you a question, man. I know that you've been in the studio with him before, and I'm sure, like we all know, R. Kelly's like collaborating like with a bunch of different artists. My thinking is like or whatever. Would this just be limited to R. Kelly, or I'm not saying you have to name any names, but does he have dirt on some other people?
I'm sure he does. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, doing what he was doing,
this is something that he didn't share with everybody. I mean, who would share that they're a pedophile? I mean, there's people who do, but a lot of people in our community wouldn't go for it. I mean, there's people who knew what was going on and turned the other cheek, but to involve them, I don't think he involved too many people, you know what I'm saying, because of his status, you know what I'm saying, trying to keep it undercover. And he was already under the microscope from the first videotape and all that stuff. So yeah, it would be a big mistake to involve, anybody else in this kind of behavior.
That's funny. You tell a different side because I was listening to Nick Cannon one day, and that's just some other artists, and some said that R. Kelly had a childlike mind. He had the maturity of a 15-year-old. So in that sense, I kind of thought, well, he was a child. He had mental, issues, which he does.
Yeah.
But you tell a difference. It's not just, oh, he's childlike. He actually had this. He's not like soft like Michael Jackson. He actually had a mean streak with him.
Yeah, it was control freak. It was personality disorder, obviously. That nigga was bipolar. He was snap, you know what I'm saying? Beat his women, beat his wife. I mean, yeah. he was a motherfucker.
And I was like one interview that I looked at, it says something about him like growing them up to be like that and training the next woman that he grabbed a hold to and stuff like that. And if they wore a certain stuff, that he would slap them or beat them.
Absolutely.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, if you can go on stage like this, but I can't walk around like this. So I come to your house, I gotta be dressed in sweatpants instead of something just a little tight to my skin. You beat me if I ain't in that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Have you ever encountered in any of that situation like you seen when they like been at his home and somebody come over and went through that and watch him do that, had to walk away like, you can't do it, let me get up out of here?
No, not being physical in front of anybody,
Right.
but being controlled. Even when we was on tour, he wouldn't let. He would see him out in the hall, go, make him go back to their room. Y'all gonna leave out there unless I say so. And I mean, they couldn't use the bathroom. They couldn't go to the bathroom by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was pretty bad.
So I want to ask a question. I know a lot of our viewers is probably gonna be asking, where was R. Kelly's wife during all of this, man? Because I know you was probably around during that time. How do you do this when you got, especially in a wife in the house?
Well, because he's R. Kelly. His wife started out as an employee, so she was already subservient to him as far as his attitude was concerned. She was a dancer, and she got hired when we got hired. You know what I'm saying? She got the job because she was fine. She had body, blah, blah, blah. But, this whole time, when she was on tour, she was fighting for his affection just like everybody, all the other women. You know what I'm saying? He was sleeping with Aaliyah. He was sleeping with her. He was making her, all these people, these dancers sleep together. You know what I'm saying? I would hear stories from a couple of the dancers, stuff he would make them do. And, some would quit and he had to hire some more dancers. You know what I'm saying? So she knew what kind of person, and we called her baby girl. At the time, that's what we called her. But, she was always vying for his affection. You know what I'm saying? And she was always worried about her job. What was she going to do? Go back and work at McDonald's? You know what I'm saying? So eventually, after I think the third tour, they got married or whatever. I was already gone. You know what I'm saying? But I know her real well. But he was already beating and controlling her from day one when she was working for him. So, how's she going to stand up as a wife? You know what I'm saying?
So why do you think that she turned on him like that? After all you know and all you've been could report it. Like how you telling him like that, then try to come out with this surviving R. Kelly series.
It's just like the title, Surviving R. Kelly, just like somebody who's been battered, battered wife syndrome. You know what I'm saying? This was an opportunity. It was a crack in the dam. You know what I'm saying? Before, he was untouchable. No matter what you do, nobody gonna believe. He got too much money, too much power, blah, blah, blah. When other people start to come forward, now she feels more comfortable coming forth, telling her truth. You know what I'm saying?
She been there a long.
And she was abused worse than anybody. You know what I'm saying? She went through more than anybody, but she kind of knew what she was getting into, because he was exhibiting the same behavior from day one when she was on tour. But, he's R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now she married to the man. You know what I'm saying? And having his kids and fantasizing about this wonderful life that never happened.
Wow. That's
Crazy.
Man, this is crazy. This is crazy.
That is a real happy hour conversation right here. I tell you, we getting inside.
I got some buddies that toured, and one of them is my good friend. I ain't gonna say his name because he's going through some legal stuff with R. Kelly now, but he was over to the house yesterday. You think I got stories? He worked for him all the way up until like a couple of years ago when they raided his house here in Johns Creek. So yeah,
So when all that's over, you think that we can get him on the interview too to come in and like we can put everything together?
I don't know, man. He ain't talked to nobody in a while. I don't know. I keep trying to convince him. They called him to do the shows and all that stuff. He just ain't did it. But he's going through some legal. Like I said, he's going through some legal stuff.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. So it's done. Right. Anybody? Hey, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we plugged in, got in mode because we want to wrap up and move on to some other interesting topics because you deep, man. You deep in the mix. You the man. So
I've been around for a minute.
So, and you got your own career. You're a successful artist yourself. And you want to get to that, but not only you are a successful artist, you also Big Meech from the Black Mafia family is your cousin.
Yeah, that's my first cousin. That's my family. Grew up sleeping in the same bed in Detroit. Hey man, Southwest T.
Yes, that's what's happening. Really, shout out to Big Meech, free meat to his backwards.
Yes, sir.
This is why I need that song. I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover.
That song still go hard.
It does. Do you ever listen to that? Does Big Meech like that song?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That song put Rick Ross on the map.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Ross was hard. Shout out to Rick Ross. Rick Ross always did his own thing, but that right there really brought him all the way the hell out.
Absolutely.
He get credit to everybody that's due.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's successful as he is. Look at him now. I watched Radio do an interview talking about he's a billion wingionaire. We're doing the wing stop. I'm like, man, this dude is really doing his thing.
About business.
About his business.
Absolutely. But it's good to see this whole story come full circle. It's a cautionary tale. Nobody wants to glorify the streets and all that stuff, or all the stuff that happened back then because of the young kids growing up now. But it's a blessing how it's come full circle, how something that was meant for bad came to be turned into something so good. You know what I'm saying? For his mom, his closest family members, and for the whole country to witness. You know what I'm saying? It's a cautionary tale. That's how we're not glorifying it, but it's a cautionary tale.
Most definitely.
They have a series, Black Mafia Family, I want to say on Prime.
On Stars.
I know my daughter.
50 Cent is producing it. It was supposed to be a movie for years. A lot of big executives and directors had it and were just sitting on it. And 50 finally bought the rights to it and decided to make it into a series. which is far more genius
better.
because
Yes.
a movie, you know, it's 2 hours. You know, a movie that came out 4 years ago, we've been past
Yeah.
it, whatever. A series is in your face every day. You're building a rapport, you're building a connection with the characters. You seeing from the time they were children on the time what they grew up and, you know, was, you know, the biggest, you know, biggest drug lords in the nation, in the history. So you get to see it from day one, and it's in your face every weekend. You get to see all the highs and the lows, and not just, you know, the money they were making, but how it affected their family, how it affected their mom, their dad, who grew, you know, who were raised in the church. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's just, you know, you can do everything you can to raise children, but they make their own decisions sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the story is about, the decisions they made. It's, like I said, it's a cautionary tale.
So listen, Levell. I mean, I've been keeping up with that series, man. You know, how accurate is some of that stuff? I mean, I've also been looking at YouTube. You know, one of the characters on there, which was supposed to be their plug, who got them started with the 50 Boys. You know, he say none of that happened like that. How accurate is this
Listen,
series?
I know who you're talking about, Sosa. A lot of people in the organization are salty because this is made for TV. So they're gonna dramatize some of the stuff. And people wanted to hear their name, they wanted to be in the show, their character to be in the show, but it's a lot of legal stuff involved in it, and it's a lot of money. And as far as budget, this is Meech's story. This is Meech's and Southwest T story. It ain't the whole Black Mafia family story. Everybody got their own version and the roles that they play, but everybody wanted to, you know, to be in the limelight. Everybody wanted, but they have to remember, this is not their story. This is Meech's story. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people out there disgruntled because, you know, why come I ain't in there, or this person ain't in there, and this man, it's made for TV, dude. We can't put everybody in there.
Right.
Do you think you will have any cameos in there yourself?
Not as of date. They're filming right now. They started filming the second season. They're filming in Detroit right now. So they film between here and Atlanta mostly.
Okay.
If you don't mind me asking, but can you keep how many members that's involved in BML?
Man, it's a worldwide organization. And, you know, they started with a core, but this thing kept growing. I don't even meet, and none of them really know. You know, everybody wanted to be a part of it. They seen how charismatic he was, and he attracted everybody. Everybody just wanted to be a part of it. It was nothing in history like it was like BMF. And so now you got a lot of people who just want to be involved or associate. So, you know, but we don't turn nobody away. I mean, it's all love. You know, they want to support the family. We you know, we take the support.
Well, the After Five podcast there. We support the family. We
Absolutely.
Support, you know,
matter of fact, we need to take a trip. We need to come in studio and do a part 2 to this and get real deep and dirty with the Black Mafia family in studio with you.
Absolutely.
We're gonna put this in calendar. We're gonna put this on the calendar, and audience, look out for part 2 in person.
Absolutely.
And then we're gonna turn up like I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover.
Larry Hoover. So I see like a while ago y'all give out. I mean, you have the merch. What can all the people get the merch at for the BML?
Well, we restructured. There's a lot of other people doing merch. Our merch is authentic. 50 got his own merch. Everybody's merch is a little different. We came up with the merch idea first because even years ago, before, you know, everybody wanted to be Black Mafia family, or before it was in the spotlight, you know, once them convictions and the feds came down on everybody, you know, nobody wouldn't claim to be a BMF. You know what I'm saying? You have to realize he has a mother, he has a father who was sick, and we started the merch company to sell merchandise to help subsidize and, you know, help them out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I would have wanted if I was locked up away from my mom for 20 years, you know, somebody out there looking for it. So, you know, me being a family member, I recruited some other people and we got together, started the merch. So our merch is authentic, and all of the proceeds goes directly to to Meech's mother, to Lucille Flannery.
Right.
Well, we
So
well
when's the
me.
last time you talked to Meech? I mean, is there any chance of him, possibly being free soon, or how's that situation looking for him?
Well, they're constantly working on it. We came pretty close a couple years ago. His brother was released on COVID. Was released from prison, thank God, and he's able to be home and be with his family, his mom and his son, and all that stuff. Meech was a little more high profile, so there was a little more axe to grind. The prosecutors wanted to make a name, so they had a lot of people that signed off on it, but the one prosecutor from Michigan didn't sign off on it, held everything up. So still working to try to get him out, and we're not going to stop. We got a lot of people, big names, advocating for him. Judge Joe Brown, some senators there in Michigan. So, and just telling the story. Like I said, it's a cautionary tale, you know what I'm saying? And how we can turn something that was bad, turn it around and help folks understand the path and what's at the end of this path. You know what I'm saying? So we haven't given up on him coming home early, and we still fighting for him to come home.
Oh.
Knows. So what can after fight? Go ahead. My bad.
No, you go ahead.
So with that being said, like, what can After Five do to help y'all support his mom and all that? Like, we can put our merch online or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get in contact with people to make them go directly to y'all. If you can give us a link, we can put it.
Yeah, absolutely. Once the new website is up, we'll give you the link. You can post it online where they can get authentic BMF wear. All the proceeds go to Miss Flannery. She's well taken care of now, of course. but every little bit helps, you know what I'm saying? And it's just something, I didn't start a t-shirt business to make money in t-shirts. I got plenty of other businesses that I run, but I know there are a lot of people wanting the merchandise. So if they want it, they'll know that it's authentic and the proceeds are going directly to his mother.
Yeah, okay.
But all that said, you are an artist yourself. So are you still in the music business and still making records?
I still write and I cultivate young talent. I'm 50, I'll be 55. So this is a young man's game.
55, yeah.
So we still do some, old head R&B concerts. We did a concert last year back in Cleveland with the Dad's Band, Elder Bars, Rude Boys, Men at Large. So we still do some of that stuff. And we're working on like an EP of some 90s grown folks type shit, just to put out there. But mostly I cultivate young talent. I have a distribution deal with Warner Brothers. So we just cultivating young talents and
you don't
teaching
deal
them how
with
to
no
do
old
it.
talent? You won't take a chance on the old talent?
Hey, if it's hot, it's hot.
I'm something like a rapper that never got his kick, his fame, My starting life, I still got some bars in me,
Hey, all right, we'll get you down here in the studio.
Yeah.
Kick off and do something.
Most definitely.
That's good. Where can your music be found?
A lot of this stuff can be found on YouTube if you look up under, it's called Twice. So if you look up the single, which our first single was Sparkle by Twice, then a lot of the other stuff will pop up. A lot of other stuff that we did, live performances on BET, Soul Train, stuff like that.
Hey, that's great. Yeah, we need a hook, so we need an intro hook.
We got it. We got Levell right here. Levell,
I got you.
Look, all I need to do
on this video.
We'll crank it out.
All we need is a hook, and all I need to do is record me a nice dance step on, like the cha-cha slide. I'm gonna record once, and people gonna dance, and I'm gonna eat forever. Every barbecue, every wedding, you gonna know me and remember me. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm a one and done.
All right.
Okay. We're gonna get you in the booth when you get down here.
Yeah, we got to. We got to get him in there. We got to get him in there. I'm telling we got a lot of artists that we're gonna bring down too. So
absolutely.
We got to get it together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Levell, man, it's more than the more respect for you. Thanks for coming on our show. You know, this
Definitely
one
appreciate
probably
that.
gonna be one of the biggest shows that came across the After Five podcast shows. Wish you the utmost, you know.
I appreciate you having me. I enjoyed you spending time with you when you came down
And most definitely.
for the weekend. And like I said, I'll be in Tampa this weekend, so we'll definitely have to link.
Most definitely. Most definitely. We're gonna link up. I'm ready when you're
Yeah,
ready.
Yes, sir.
yeah. So when we get off here, we're gonna have to put some dates in the calendar to, make
Okay,
this part two a reality.
absolutely.
As long as Delta can get me there on time
Hey,
without canceling
Absolutely.
my flight, yeah, that's a shot at Delta.
yeah, and then we need a shout at Drew sitting up there talking. He being quiet. Yeah, we need you here at the same time. So make sure your calendar day is the same time as everybody else's calendar date, because you're gonna be here.
I got you. I definitely want to meet Levell, man. He's been one of the most interesting people that we definitely had on the show. Levell, you laid it out. You laid it out, Levell.
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you about Levell. Levell is like one good person, man, that ever invited me to his home over the weekend when I was down there working and stuff like that, like to bring the artist in and everything to the studio. Working with the artist with Levell right now. Just trying to, like you say, do it for the youth. Trying to keep it in the family and stuff like that. Fed me, took some family in, like he related to family of mine, and stuff like that. Real good dude, humble. I ain't one of the ones that want to come out and say, hey, I'm this, I'm that. Real humble, real quiet type person, somebody all about his business. Most definitely want to be there for the After Five. We talked about that on, I think, about 2 days, talking about don't come down here again if y'all ain't invited to the After Five shows. They want to come party with us and stuff and turn up, He willing to help us promote. And do what we got to do too, is coming as entrepreneurs as ourselves.
But that's good, because we got that pool party coming this summer.
I'll be there.
With the After Five swimwear. But we got to promote that.
So he wanted to tell, he been saying it that you come here, you welcome here, you don't gotta get no hotel, you come stay here.
Absolutely.
And make sure we don't make Monticello's and or wherever else y'all at. Yeah, at the After Five party, they gonna be there, you know what I'm saying? But then they gave me merch, they got merch on the way too. So man, like we gonna spread the love, man. As love come, we can keep spreading.
Absolutely.
And shout out to BML before we end this. Shout out to BML.
Big meat.
Free big meat to his backers. Glad to see you home, Southwest T, you know what I'm saying, to take care of your family and stuff like that.
Love, respect.
Much love to Levell, you know what I'm saying, for coming on here, giving us probably one of the biggest podcasts gold in our first 3-4 months and stuff. But we gonna continue to do what we gotta do, man, and spread the love.
Levell, I gotta ask you the question that we ask every guest. What does it mean when you hear After Five? What does After Five mean to you?
After 5 minutes, time to relax, take your time, get your drink,
Most definitely.
shoot the shit.
That's it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
We appreciate that.
We appreciate everybody for listening to another episode of the After Five, the podcast. Of course, you find us on YouTube. We everywhere that they got a podcast at. If you can't watch us on YouTube, tune in, listen to us on your drive to work. What else you got to do? We on Apple Podcasts. We on Anchor FM. We on Google Podcasts. We on Overcast. We on Castbox. We on Pocket Cast. We on Radio Public. We on Stitcher. If you in Mars somewhere, you want to listen to a podcast, holler at me. We on Spotify. If you on Mars or some other planet and you need that podcast, email us. The link is in the description. We're going to get you out there. We're taking over the universe. You want these shirts right here that we got, After Five shirts? We on Ali Apparel. That link is in the description too. Stop playing.
Also,
we on IG.
Also with the BMF, they're gonna be in the description too. Like
put
get over there.
The BMF
shout out
link
to BMF,
in the description.
You know what I'm saying? Support them.
We're gonna put the device in the description. Yeah, everything. You know how we do. We drop all that knowledge in the description. And we on IG, Ali After Five, 5IVE. We on Twitter at Ali After Five, the number 5. We on TikTok. You might catch a little glimpse of my freestyle. You might see me rapping on now on TikTok, After Five, the podcast. How we gonna turn up. And of course, emails in the link. aliafter5@gmail.com. If you want to reach, if you got a question, we take good comments, we take bad. We don't discriminate. Just holler at us. So comment if you got a question for Levell or anything. We'll reach out to him and let you know. We
Absolutely.
appreciate everybody tuning in. We definitely
Appreciate
appreciate
everybody.
much love and respect to you, Bill, your family, Black Monty family. We appreciate you dropping these bombs on us.
Thanks for having me.
Most definitely. Most
Anytime,
definitely.
you always
Appreciate
welcome on the After Five podcast.
it. Mhm.
With that said, y'all take care. Be safe
All
until
right.
next Wednesday.